Look here, my dear friends, in the yesterday's class, we are discussing about the voltage divider biasing, and also we are studying about what is Q point and what is the importance of Q point, and also studied about what are the types of biasing. In that, you are having the 4 types of biasing, as we discussed in the last class. That is about fixed bias, and second one is called your collector feedback bias, and third one is called emitter feedback bias, and final one is called your voltage divider biasing. And yesterday when I said, in this 4 biasing types, actually you are having the syllabus is about only about the voltage divider biasing, and also compared to all 4 biasing types, you are giving more importance to the voltage divider biasing. You are giving more importance to the voltage divider biasing. And yesterday only said we are giving more importance to the voltage divider biasing. And the most important thing in that voltage divider biasing, we are using only one power supply. We are using only one power supply that acts as a both input as well as output. That acts as a both input as well as output. And before that, as you studied in basic function transistors, to make it forward bias, we are applying the VBB in the input section. We are applying the VBB, and to make it this is your input section, and in the output section, you are applying the VCC to make it the output reverse bias. But by using your different types of biasing methods, we can use, for example, your voltage divider biasing. Voltage divider biasing. This is so important. It is also called as universal biasing. It is also called as universal biasing. And here you are using only one power supply. You are using only the VCC. You are not using 2 power supplies. It means you can reduce the cost of the power supply. If you use the 2 power supply, you are having more cost. But if you use only one power supply, you are reduce the cost. And also, as I said here, to make it forward bias or reverse bias, you are using separate power supplies. But here in your voltage divider biasing, you are using only one power supply. That one power supply acts as a both. That makes, as I said in yesterday, the R1 and R2 and VCC, that makes the forward bias, the input section. And also we want the reverse bias in the output section. That is something but RC and your VCC, that makes the reverse bias for your output section. The major difference about in general transistor function and if you use the voltage divider biasing, the important thing is about you are using only one power supply that acts as a board. It acts, if you want to make it the input forward bias, you are using R1, R2 and VCC, and if you want to make it the output reverse bias, you are using RC and VCC. That makes the output as reverse bias. It means only you are using one power supply that makes the input forward bias as well as output as reverse bias. And another important thing, yesterday I said about you have done the circuit analysis of your voltage divider biasing, and as I said, in your while going for the biasing, the most important thing is about the Q point. The Q point should be in the middle of the active region. And also you should not shift above or below. You should not shift towards the saturation, or you should not shift towards the cutoff. Always you should be in the middle of the active region. That is done by using your voltage divider biasing. If you use the voltage divider biasing, the Q point does not shift towards the saturation or towards the cutoff. It means the stability of the Q point is there in your voltage divider biasing. And also, as we know about your beta, as the another important thing about your voltage divider biasing, the voltage divider biasing is independent of beta. The voltage divider biasing is independent of beta. If the beta may change, then also the Q point is in the middle of the active region. Because as you know already, if you have not done the biasing, if you the change in the beta, they may shift the Q point above or below. But if you use the voltage divider biasing, then what happens? The beta may change, then also the Q point should be in the middle of the active region. That's why we are preferring the voltage divider biasing. And also I said another important thing, if the temperature may change, if the temperature may increase or decrease, then also the Q point may change. We are not getting the stability of the collector current. If the temperature is increases, if the temperature increases, then what happens? As we know already, in a transistor, if the temperature increases, then what happens? The reverse saturation current ICO increases, because as we know already, the reverse saturation current that depends upon the temperature. If the temperature increases, then the reverse saturation current also increases. And once the reverse saturation current increases, then what happens? The IC, the collector current also increases. The collector current also increases. But what do we want? We want the collector current should be constant. We want the stability of the collector current. Then how to make it the stability of collector current? As I said, in your especially in your voltage divider biasing, actually I am using the 4 resistors. We are using, yesterday I discussed in detail, R1, R2 and VCC. That makes the forward bias, the input section. And as I said, RC and VCC, that makes the reverse bias output section. But you are using another extra resistor, that is something but your RE. You are using the emitter resistor. What is the importance of this emitter resistor? Why we are using the emitter resistors? Because as we know about R1, R2, and also as I said in the last class, why it is called voltage divider biasing? Why it is called voltage divider biasing? Because the R1, R2, they are in series, and also you studied in your first year what is the use of the resistors. You can divide the voltage, and also this also studied in your first year, the voltage divider rule. It means in your voltage divider rule, by using R1 and R2 and VCC, we can divide the voltage. We can divide the voltage. Or you are using the voltage divider rule in your voltage divider biasing. That's why it is called as voltage divider biasing. Because you are using the R1 and they are in series. Because they are in series, we can divide the voltage. That's why it is called as voltage divider biasing. And actually, you are giving importance to the input section. And what is the use of RE? It is called emitter resistor. And especially what I said here, if the temperature may increase, then the reverse saturation current increases and also the collector current also increases. Then actually what happens? It also increases the IE. It also increases the IE. The IE nothing but the emitter current. The emitter current also increases. Or I can say about if the IC increases, that will increase the IC, that will increase the IE. And if the emitter current increases, then what happens? As we know about the voltage across the RE increases. The voltage across the RE increases. Once the current increases in the emitter current increases, that will increase the voltage across the RE. And as we know about the basic, if you apply the KVL to input section, that becomes VBE equal to V2 minus VE. V2 minus VE. And here the V2, it is, yesterday I said it is independent of the current. It depends only on R1, R2 and VCC. It does not depend upon the current. But as we know about VE, V2 equal to VE nothing but IE into RE according to Ohm's law. It means here what happens? The voltage across the emitter increases. Voltage across the emitter increases. It means it will decrease the VBE, because you are having you get a negative value here. That negative value means you are decreases the VBE. VBE nothing but the input voltage. As we know about the VBE nothing but the input voltage. The VBE nothing but the input voltage. And as we know already, if the input voltage decreases, then what happens? The input current IB also decreases. And once the input current decreases, no doubt the output current IC also decreases. That makes your IC stable. IC will be constant. Yesterday I discussed it already. It means we are using the voltage divided by biasing to make it the stability in the Q point and also stability in the current. If the temperature may change or if the beta may change, still you are having the Q point is in the middle of the activation. And finally, what are the advantage? They may ask the question for your exam for 2 marks. What are the advantage of your voltage divided by biasing? First one, as I said, the important thing is the Q point is always in the middle of active region, and also your you can say about your output voltage or your output current VCE and output current IC, that is independent of beta. The output voltage or output current, that is independent of beta. Or if the beta may change or temperature may change, will get the stability in the collector current, or will get the stability in the Q point. That's why they are giving more importance to the voltage divided by biasing. That is one advantage. And second advantage about in all your amplifiers, we are using the voltage divided by bias. Maximum amplifiers, in all your amplifiers, we are using the voltage divided by biasing. And finally, why you are using the voltage divided by biasing in amplifiers? Because we want more amplification. We want the more amplification, and if you want more amplification, you can use for the voltage divided by biasing. Most of the amplifiers you are using the voltage divided by biasing because we want more amplification. The more amplification is given by the voltage divided by biasing. This is about the advantage of your voltage divided by biasing. The first one is about the Q point should be in the middle of the active region. The Q point should not change. You change the beta or temperature, we want the stability in the Q point. We want the stability in the Q point. That is given by your voltage divided by biasing. And the second one, in all your amplifiers, you are using the voltage divided by bias. And finally, why you are using the voltage divided by bias for amplifiers? We want the faithful amplification. We want more amplification. That's why we are using about the voltage divider biasing. And finally, in the yesterday's class, we are discussing about the circuit analysis of voltage divider biasing. And today we go for the Q point analysis. We go for the Q point. We go for the Q point analysis. Q point analysis. And once again, you consider the same circuit diagram. Yesterday, we would use that C configuration in the voltage divider biasing. Use the same circuit diagram, and as I said, you are using in C configuration, and you are using a voltage divider biasing. Yesterday, when I said you are using the 4 resistors. One is called RC, this is called RE, and this is your R1, R2, and as I said, you are applying the common VCC. You are not applying the 2 power supply, you are applying only 1 power supply, and this is nothing but your R1, R2, and this is nothing but your input voltage VBE, and this is your output voltage VCE. And once again, how you have done in the yesterday's class, today also same. You can use, first you apply KVL for the base section or base section, and as we know already, here you are applying the KVL. That becomes, you can write about VBE, we can write VBE plus VE. You can write about this may be your V1, this may be your V2. You can write about V2 equal to VBE plus VE. Yesterday only said the R1 and R2, they are in series. By using R1, R2 and VCC, we can divide the voltage. And whatever the voltage drop across R2, and that is called your V2. That is called your base voltage. And also, as I said, if you want to make it input as forward bias, R1, R2, VCC, that makes input as forward bias, and VCC and RC, that makes output as reverse bias. And here we know about V2, that V2 equal to same VBE plus, you can write about, in place of VE, you can write according to Ohm's law, IE into RE. And here we want the IE, that is nothing but IE, you take this side, IE into RE, that equal to V2 minus VBE divided by, or you can write in, to take next step, we want IE, the IE equal to V2 minus VBE divided by RE. This is equation number 1. And we know in our transistors, the IE is nearly equal to IC. It means in place of I, you can write about IC. That is nothing but ICQ. ICQ is nothing but the output current saturation, that is nothing but V2 minus VBE divided by RE. This is nothing but your output current, that is nothing but output saturation current, ICQ. And here what is called V2? As I said, the V2 is nothing but we are applying the voltage divided by biasing. Here you can write about the V2 nothing but R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC. This is nothing but your here what is V2? The V2 is nothing but the voltage across the R2. That is you can use the formula for voltage divider rule. And finally, we know the output current. We want output voltage. For that, what you have to do? Apply the KVL for the output section. Apply the KVL. Apply KVL for the output section. And here, as we are using the KVL for output section, that becomes the VCC equal to VCE, or you can write about IC into RC plus VCE plus VE, or you can write about IC into RC plus VCE. In place of VE, you can write IE into RE. IE into RE. You can write about IE into RE. And as I said here, in place of IE, you can write IC, because in your transistors you are considering about the, here you can write about IE is nearly equal to IC. You can write about VCC equal to VCE plus IC into RC, and here in place of IE you can write IC into RE. Right? Then what you have to do? You take the common here. This and this you take here IC common. You take the IC common. That becomes VCC equal to VCE plus, you take IC common, that becomes RC plus RE. And as I said, we want the output voltage. The output voltage is given by VCE saturation, VCE saturation, VCE Q, that is given by VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. This is nothing but your Q point analysis. It means this also I am asking your exam about 3-mark question. The analysis, Q point analysis by using the voltage divider biasing. It means we want the output current and also we want the output voltage. It means by using the voltage divider bias we can go for we have to find out the output current as well as output voltage. This is nothing but your Q part analysis for your voltage divider biasing. And finally you go for in your transistors or in your semiconductors. As I said in the beginning, the major difference in your BJT and FET. As I said here, in the broad we can classify the two types of transistor. One is called your BJT and another is called your FET. Because in your FET it is called unipolar device because the current is because of only magnetic carriers. But as in your BJT, the current is because of both magnetic carriers as well as magnetic carriers. It means in your transistors, especially if the transistor is properly biased, we can use for different applications. It may be your amplifier or it may be your switch or oscillator, so many things. And for your transistors, especially I said about the total current in your transistor. The total current in transistor is nothing but I total, that equal to I majority carriers and also I minority carriers. It means as I said, in your transistor the current is because of both majority carriers as well as the minority carrier. But as we know already about the majority carriers current, and especially you are not giving more importance to the minority current because it is very, very small. We are giving more importance to the majority carriers current, but you are having very, very small minority current. And as we know, where you get the minority current? As we know already, in your the majority current, that is because of the forward bias. It may be a transistor, it may be your diodes. But the minority current, that is because of your reverse bias. And as we know already, in your transistor, they are having the two junction. As we know, the input is forward bias and the output is reverse bias. And as we know, in forward bias the current is because of majority carriers, and in reverse bias the current is because of minority carriers. That's why I said the total current I total is equal to the majority carriers plus minority carriers. And here this also we call as the minority current. Another name of minority current, it is also called as leakage current. It is also called as reverse saturation current. It is called reverse saturation current, or it is also called as leakage current. It is called as leakage current. Or it is also called as reverse saturation current. And what is called your leakage current? As we know already, the leakage current is nothing but it is a type of current, and this current is due to the minority carriers. This current is due to minority carriers, and this current is because of the reverse bias. That is important. As I said, what is leakage current? The current flowing because of the minority carriers and because of the reverse bias, that current is nothing but the leakage current. And especially the leakage current is different for the different configurations. The leakage current is different for the different configurations. And for example, as we know about your C configuration, the leakage current is nothing but the ICO. It is called ICO. And for your common base configuration, that is nothing but your ICBO. It means you are going for in detail about the different configurations, especially in your common emitter configuration. The leakage current is nothing but the ICO, and for your common base configuration, the leakage current is about the ICBO. And here, what the indicates the here ICO nothing but the current move from the collector to the emitter while base is open, or the 0 indicates minority current. It means the ICO indicates the current moving from the collector to the emitter while base is open. In the same way, for your ICBO nothing but here also the current will move from the collector to the base while emitter is open. These are the two types of leakage current that occurs in your transistors. And we'll go for the first. You go for the ICBO, and for your ICBO means, as I said here, ICBO means you are consider the common, or a given hint which transistor you have to consider. You have to consider the common base, because we want make it emitter is open. We are not connecting anything to the emitter, and this is your common base transistor, and this is your here applying the you can apply the, you can write RC or not necessary, you can write only here applying the VCC. This is your VCC, and this is nothing but your ICBO, or you can say it IC, and here your IE. Actually IE is 0 or IE is open. It means in your ICBO, it is one type of leakage current. It comes under the common base configuration. Thank you. We'll continue in tomorrow's class.